Hey Finesse anglers, in this video I'll be doing a quick unboxing and a cast testing of this reel right here. This is the loose Mach 1 shallow spool. This is a very interesting reel because it didn't specifically say bait finesse. This is a size 32mm spool, and if you take a look at it, right, just take a look at it. It is not that shallow. It's shallow, okay? But I feel like this is more like a long cast reel. But let's go on the table, let's take a look at it, let's take a look at some of the specs, and we'll weigh the spool, and then we're gonna put some line on here and do some cast testing and see exactly what it can do. But I do want to read one thing for you from the website, specifically for the description. Okay, so this is basically for finesse fishing or throwing light lures, like light crankbaits and weightless plastics. Okay, so the question is, how light can we actually cast based on a specification of this reel? This is what the cast testing is gonna prove. So let's get this video started. All right, so let's unbox this and take a look at this reel. Here are the specs. If you guys want to take a look at it, you can hit a pause. As you see, it's a pretty heavy reel. It reminds me of the Abu Garcia. Yeah, pretty heavy. And it's interesting. It's rated for 8-pound fluoro, and it could hold 80 yards, which is, I think, in my opinion, too much. Especially if you want to cast light lures, right? I think 50 yards, it's more than enough. And as you can see, it holds 80 yards of 30-pound braid. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I think this could be a long cast spool rather than a bait finesse, but you know, you still can cast light lures with long cast spools, right? So anyway, we're gonna play around with this in a bit. By the way, the box didn't come with anything, okay? No bag, no paper, no nothing, but the box do have a lot of information if you want to read it. So here's one right there. Some more fancy stuff you want to pause there, okay? All right. Anyway, here's the reel. White, crazy green. I like the green, but it does feel heavy. Here's the handle, the knobs. Feels very grippy. I like it. No drag clicker. Okay. Okay. This reel came with a pretty choppy, very loose spool, so I'm gonna tighten the tension a little bit. There we go. Just a tiny micro chop, kind of like how I like all my raWr reels or any sort of magnetic braking reel. Let's look at the brakes, and then we are gonna weigh the spool, and then we'll go out there and do some cast testing. All right, so let's take a look at this. Oh, it's one of these. All right. How to do this? Oh, it's upwards. Okay, there we go. So you pull this pin right here, okay, and you twist this guy upwards, and then you pull out. All right, and okay, so it is a dual braking system. We have centrifugal braking, and then we have magnetic. So basically, this is the main brakes. You set it, and then you use this to micro tune. All right, so there's 4 pins here. Okay, off. It's on, off. Okay, that's on. Okay. Okay, so it looks like they had 50%, basically half. So I'm gonna leave it at half for now. I don't want to put all the brakes on. Actually, no. It's actually safer to put all the brakes on, especially when you use thin line, because when you mess up and you bird nest, likely bird nest with thin line, you cannot fix it, okay? Because a lot of times when you use thinner line, you could damage the line as you're picking it, right? So I'm gonna put everything max for now. Anyhow, let's weigh this spool. But man, 7.4 ounce for just the entire reel. It's pretty heavy, but we're gonna do a spool only. And with the braking system here, it's gonna make it pretty heavy too. Oh wow, 19.19. That is heavy. All right. Normal bearing, typical bearing size. All right, well, that's your overview. It's time to put some line on, put some 8-pound fluoro, since that's what the recommendation is, and we'll go out there and throw some weightless plastics, shall we? Let's go. Okay, so now that we've gone over specs, this is what we're gonna do. As I mentioned, I don't think we need 80 yards of 8-pound fluoro. I think that would just make the spool too heavy. And for a reel like this, I don't think if you're casting, trying to cast the lightest lure out there, it's not gonna go far in the first place. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We'll put 50 yards of 8-pound fluoro, and then we'll put on a light power rod and see how light we'll cast via soft plastic. Okay, I'm gonna put maybe like a size 2/0 hook, Texas rig style hook, and see how low we cast. I got various lures, so I gotta weigh them, and I shall weigh them all, and then let's go in the water and see what we're gonna do. I'll be pairing up this reel on an Arc Gravity BFS rod, or Bass Finesse series rod. Okay, and the rating for this rod is 1/16 ounce to about 3/8 ounce. Okay, that's what I feel that this rod could handle. So let's get in the water and do some testing. All right, the first plastic I'll throw is from X Zone. This is their new Fluke that is 3.75 inch. Total weight here is above 4 grams, which is perfect for this testing. Once again, I have 8-pound fluoro. This is from Seaguar InvizX, and I only put 150 feet. Okay, so it's not like up to the max. And first thing we want to do is play around with the brakes first. That's why I want to put the heaviest lure I have in the arsenal. For the rod, I got the Arc Gravity BF, and this is a 6'8" fast tip. So let's go. All right, so I have all the brake dials on, and the max brakes out outside, and it casts it out. Distance-wise, it's okay, expected with that type of brakes on. So let's just put this outside dial all the way down to see what's going on, because this is basically a dual braking system. Okay, it kind of still cast it out there, but it's kind of going to the left, as you see. So definitely too much brakes when you have all the inside pins on. So next thing we want to do is put this back to max, and then we're gonna lower the inside stuff. Okay, this is anticipated, but having that distance is actually very good. Okay, it's very good. And everything's on, so let's put 50% off. Okay, it's 50% off. All right, so let's do it. Isn't anybody just went to the left even more? That's interesting. Okay, that's very interesting. Let me just put this outside dial to 50% as well. So 50-50. This is interesting. Very interesting. All right, so I'm over spooling like crazy, as you see, but I finally got some sort of accuracy. It's still kind of off a little bit. This is so odd. I mean, this is not by any means very light plastic, So let's put this to like around 8 for the outside. Once again, the inside is 50%. I love this fly guy over there, fly fishing. All right, so let's try it again. All right, I am over spooling. All right, over spooling. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I think fluoro. Yeah, I think if you go PE, you definitely go lighter. But at the moment, this is not good. This is not good. Yeah, fluorocarbon line, there's a couple things, right? It's stiffer than PE line, or braided line. So therefore, you won't get the distance if you use fluoro. And you also wouldn't get the lightness because fluoro is heavier than a PE. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. So I'm gonna put the brakes at 10. Okay, so 10 is not the max. There's actually a max. I guess that would be maybe 12. Maybe. So this is 10, 10 and a half, 11, 11 halves, 12. Okay, so 12 would be max. So let me just max it one more. No. Let's put 11, okay? Let's try it one more time. I just don't want it to overspool. All right, so it overspooled while I was casting, but fixed itself, but it is still somewhat inaccurate. Oh, man. So you would have to go heavier than this plastic here if you want any sort of accuracy. I mean, it's not a BFS reel, but then again, I would expect it to cast a little lighter, but given that this spool here is pretty heavy, it's like over 19 grams, right? Yeah, 19 grams, mainly because you have the centrifugal braking module on the side here. It adds total weight
to your spool, therefore you can't really throw it out light. Okay, well, anyhow, I will go a little lighter just to see how it behaves. All right, next lure is the Bluegrass bug from the Mule fishing supply. And this is gonna be a little bit lighter. It's also elastomer, so I actually wanna do a quick cast in front of me. Oh yeah, it floats. This is gonna be great. If you got those bugs, look at that, it actually dies down a little bit when he twitches. Oh my gosh. You know those beetles that dies a little bit? This is actually gonna be very fun. Anyhow, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Cast it. All right, so this guy for some reason casted pretty accurate compared to the other one, and it did cast, and it did overspool. Huh, that's very interesting. It overspooled, but it fixed itself before it hit the water. So let's try again. I guess the rally shad, it might be just catching air, making it inaccurate. And also, so yeah, I think this might be doable. This is near 1/8 ounce, so maybe it is possible. And as I mentioned, beginning of the video, I think if you max this spool here, this probably won't happen. Okay, you probably won't be able to do this. And I think 150 is more than enough line. If you really want to, you can probably put 6-pound test line or 7-pound test line, and you can probably limit the amount, maybe to like 140. You know, close quarter fishing is what bait finesse is all about. And right now, it's not too bad. That I'll put at 10 breaks. I went to the left a little bit because the wind is subtle. But yeah, this dense little lure is pretty cool. All right, so there you have it. Casting these is not too bad, but it makes me think maybe I should put a lighter plastic on to see how it goes, right? Because this did way better than the rally shad from X Zone. So let me put something a little bit lighter. Well, actually a lot lighter, okay? Let me see what's in the bag. All right, the next lure I'm gonna start is the Woody Stalker 2-inch from Arc, okay? They brought out some cool stick baits, range from 2 inches and up for bait finesse. 2 inches is actually very popular in Japan, and there's barely any 2-inch stick baits in the US. I mean, even Gary Yamamoto have a 2-inch Senko, but they don't sell it here in the US. So get this while it's hot. You get it from Arc. You guys get it discount, 10% discount using raWr Fishing. But anyway, yes, the hook is too big for this plastic. The goal of this casting here is just to cast the total weight. I'm not here to fish, so it's fine. I would use like a size 1 rather than a 2/0 hook, okay? But let's give it a wing, and oh man, you guys see that? I casted the lure, it went to the left, it was overspooling. I had to stop it. If not, it would have been your backlash galore right there. That was break 8, so there is probably no reason for me to, you know, put the brakes up and cast, but I'll just do it anyway. And then we'll go back to the table, and let's talk all about it, shall we? So let's do one more cast. I'm gonna compensate a little bit, and it's still going to the left like crazy, and I'm still overspooling at 10 breaks. Outside dial and inside is 50%, okay, just 2 tabs. So in the end of the day, yeah, this is definitely not bait finesse, but can it be a finesse casting machine? I think so. Let's talk all about it.
All right, let's wrap up today's video. The first thing I want to say is that this is not a BFS reel. I know I do a lot of reviews of BFS type reels, bait finesse reels, and then I do sometimes finesse casting reels as well. And I have to say that, you know, when Lou said that this reel here could cast light lures, weightless plastic and stuff like that, you know, I was pretty excited because, you know, the bait finesse scene is growing in the US. I was hoping that they will bring out BFS reel instead of a, you know, I would consider this a long cast reel. And I didn't really like it, okay? I'm gonna first talk about the braking mechanism. The centrifugal braking, because you have the module on the side of the spool, it made the spool really heavy, okay? It's very, very heavy, and I feel like even with the ports on it, it doesn't cast that light, and the overspooling aspect using fluorocarbon, right? I heard if you were to use PE line though, braided line, it does a lot better. Like people are casting 3.5 grams or 1/8 ounce really nicely. And yeah, that means this is more of a long cast reel, right? Not really a BFS reel. So if you need a long cast reel casting, let's say around 4 grams with PE line, you know, your max spool, it should be okay. I see myself using a reel like this for inshore fishing, like fluke fishing, I fish the back bass and I use like a 1 go PE line, and then cast maybe max 1/4 ounce jig bouncing back to me, and this would be a perfect reel for that. Now, if you use this for saltwater fishing, because this is a freshwater reel, you just need to maintain it well, flush it really well after each trip. And of course, at the end of the season, you would have to strip it down, clean it up, and relubricate it, right? But yeah, I am not keeping this reel for my type of finesse fishing. I think there potentially be other reels that would be better options, like the Shimano SLX MGL70. The spool obviously is different, right? The MGL70 is a deeper spool than this shallow spool. But I feel like if I were to put PE line on it, thin PE line, the SLX would cast a lot better. And then also, I think the fluorocarbon aspect, it would cast a little bit better. But please note, I didn't really compare the two side by side, so I can't really say. But based on my previous cast test, you guys check out the cast testing. But again, it's gonna be like a heavier casting setup. It did pretty well, and I would feel like that reel right there would do a lot better. So if you guys want to see me, take out my SLX 70 and do another casting session, kind of similar to this, 8-pound fluoro, and just see how low it can go, let me know in the comments below, because it's pretty much the same price MSRP, and I feel like the new SLX MGL 70 with the SVS Infinity side plate braking, right? The inside centrifugal braking, and then with the outside braking, it's so much more refined than this loose right here, the SS Mach 1 shallow spool. So yeah, if you guys are interested in see if I could compare this reel and see how low I could cast, let me know in the comments below. Anyhow, this reel here, not keeping it, gonna return it and use that money for a different reel. Thank you for watching The Fish Don't Wait. Got any questions? Feel free to leave me a comment below.